Welcome to the Wood Employee Share Plan. This presentation aims to provide you with more information about what the Employee Share Plan is, how it works, and how you can be a part of it. First of all, what do we mean by a share plan? Share plans provide you with a simple way to purchase Wood shares through payroll deductions and benefit from additional matching shares from the company. A share is a unit of ownership in the business. By owning shares, you become a shareholder, and you may benefit from any growth in Wood's share price, as well as receive dividends, which are a share of the company's profits. You will also be able to vote on shareholder matters at the company's annual general meeting. At the start of each annual plan, you'll be invited to choose a percentage of your salary between 1 and 10% to invest in Wood shares over the course of a 12-month period. This is known as the purchase period. Contributions are taken from your pay after tax and are used to buy shares on a set date every month. Shares are purchased on the London Stock Exchange in British pounds sterling. The price you pay for a share is based on the market value on the day of the purchase. 12 months after the end of the purchase period, Wood will give you 1 extra share for every 2 shares you own. This is known as a match. There are some key things to be aware of when joining the Employee Share Plan. The amount of shares your investment buys depends on the share price at the time and also the exchange rate, if you're not paid in British pounds sterling. This means if the share price goes down, you may get more shares for your investment, but if the share price goes up, you may get less. The matching shares are considered additional income from employment, and therefore are liable for income tax and social security contributions depending on your location and personal circumstances. If you sell your purchased shares before the end of the prescribed holding period, you may forfeit any associated matching shares. Owning shares is not for everyone. Before deciding, you may wish to seek independent financial advice about how owning shares may affect your financial position. Computershare Investor Services are Wood's share plans administrator. They provide Wood with several key services to help us operate the employee share plan. They provide trading services. They're responsible for purchasing the shares on your behalf using your salary contributions. Your shares are stored in a secure online account which you can access at any time through the Equate Plus platform and the Equate Plus mobile app. The Equate Plus service allows a simple and convenient way for you to view your portfolio of shares, as well as trade them and view your trading history. There is a 24-hour contact centre available with Equate Plus. You can talk to one of the team through online chat or by telephone if you need assistance. Computershare also support Wood with communications. When it comes to important events such as annual enrolment and when your shares become available, you should be sure to look out for any important emails coming your way from Equate Plus. Enrolment for the Employee Share Plan is a one-off annual event and typically occurs in January each year. Each Employee Share Plan year is treated solely in isolation, which means enrolment in one plan year does not automatically roll over into future plan years. You need to actively re-enroll every year that you wish to participate. If you meet the eligibility criteria, you'll receive an invitation to join the plan on the day that the enrolment window opens. This invitation will be in the form of an email from Equate Plus or perhaps a letter through the post if we don't have an email address for you. The enrolment window is typically open for 5 weeks to allow you enough time to read through all of the plan documentation and make an informed decision on whether you wish to join. If you do miss the opportunity to join during this set window, then your next chance to join will be in the following year if you're still eligible. So what is the eligibility criteria? Well, it's all about your location and your start date with Wood. You must have continuous service with Wood from a set date. This is typically in the November leading up to enrolment in January. The date will always be communicated on our plan documentation every year. You must also be employed by an eligible entity of Wood, as well as living and working in one of 17 countries where the plan operates. These countries are the UK, the Republic of Ireland, Norway, Spain, France, Italy, Canada, the USA, Brazil, Chile, Australia, Azerbaijan, the UAE, India, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. Once enrolled, deductions will be taken from your pay at every pay period, starting from March that year. It doesn't matter what pay frequency applies to you, whether you're paid monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, and so on, wherever there's a payment, a deduction will be taken. You can adjust or even cancel your contribution level at any time throughout the plan year. You can do this through your Equate Plus account. Just find the Employee Share Plan tile, click on Manage, and then follow the steps to choose a new contribution level. Once your new selection is confirmed, it will be communicated to your payroll department, who will then make sure this takes effect from the next available pay run. If you do choose to go down to zero contributions, then you cannot reinstate them at a later date during the same plan year. If you're on paid leave of any sort, you're not required to leave the plan and you should be able to continue contributing as normal, subject to any local requirements. If you are on unpaid leave and you have no contributions going through, that's okay. Your contributions will only be taken when there are funds available to take from, and in this case, you would not be considered a leaver from the plan. You are responsible for making sure that your contributions are being deducted correctly from your pay. It's really important that you're regularly checking your payslips to make sure that everything looks as expected. At the end of every calendar month, your payroll department will send your total contributions from that month to Computershare. Your contribution will be converted, if not already in British pound sterling, and the FX rate achieved will be visible on your Equate Plus account. Your full contribution is used to purchase shares on the stock market. This includes fractional shares. The date that the shares will be purchased is published ahead of time and can be found on the calendar online. If any of these dates were to change, this would be communicated to you. After the trade, you'll see your purchase shares on your Equate Plus account under the Purchase Cycle section. At the end of a plan year, after the purchase period is complete, the shares purchased with your contributions will go into the holding period. This means, although they are your shares that you own and can sell at any time, you would forfeit any associated matching shares as a result of selling them while they are still in the holding period. The holding period lasts 12 months from the 1-year anniversary of the first purchase date in the plan year, so ultimately 2 years from the first purchase date. During this time, your purchased shares will be categorised as available with restrictions on your Equate Plus account. Every time you purchase shares, your matching shares associated will begin to show on your account, and they'll be categorised as locked since they're not available to you yet. At the end of the holding period, we come to the match event. The match date for each plan year can be found on the relevant calendar on the Employee Share Plan website. You'll only receive a match for the purchased shares left in your account at the end of the holding period. In some countries, the matching shares are subject to tax and social security. Where this applies, your matching shares will be valued on the day of the match event in order for us to determine your taxable gain. Wood will ask Computershare to withhold a portion of these shares and sell them to cover this tax liability. The number of matching shares sold will always be to cover an estimated value of tax. The matching shares awarded to you will be reported through payroll to make sure that the local tax authority is paid correctly. In some cases, you may receive a refund of tax if too much was withheld. This might come to you through payroll or through your year-end tax return. If you require confirmation of your personal tax position, you should contact a professional tax advisor. Once this process is completed, and where any shares have been withheld, the residual number of shares will be delivered to your Equate Plus account and will be categorised as available for trading. This means both your purchased shares from that specific plan year, along with the associated matching shares, are now available to you to sell or to hold for as long as you wish without restrictions. Are you moving to another employing entity or another country? Well, as long as you're still employed by a participating Wood entity and you still meet the criteria of living and working in an eligible country, then your participation in the plan can continue. If you move to a non-participating country or employing company, you will need to leave the plan, but you will still be eligible for the matching shares. We do encourage you to reach out to the Share Plan team to make sure your contributions are transferred correctly or to help answer any questions you may have about moving to an ineligible position. You can reach us at shareplan@woodplc.com. If you leave Wood, any shares that you've purchased will remain in your account for as long as you wish to hold them. There's no requirement or time limit to sell them, and your account will remain open for as long as there's shares in it. However, your eligibility to receive the matching shares will depend on your reason for leaving, and this table illustrates whether the match will be applied. If you are still eligible to receive the matching shares, these will be released to you shortly after you leave Wood, net of any withholding for tax if applicable. Once released to you, the matching shares are yours to keep or sell as you wish. Any matching shares that were already awarded to you from a previous employee share plan cycle are not subject to forfeiture when you leave Wood. It's really important that you update your contact details when you leave Wood. On your Equate Plus account, you can update your email address to a personal one. If you don't have a personal email address, you can make sure that your home address is up to date. Wood and Computershare may need to contact you in future, so it's really important that we have the right contact details for you. Otherwise, you may miss an important communication that requires an action from you. For more information about the Employee Share Plan, please visit our dedicated webpage. Thank you for listening.